Hello again YouTube, this is Jodis Welsh, also known as At11 on City of Heroes on the Union server. And this next character we're looking at on the villain side is Mythicz. You can pretty much say is my main Mastermind character. Mastermind was a popular archetype on villains and was also probably the most unique as well. It probably was, and that was probably that uniqueness that actually drew people into giving villains a go in the first place. There seems to be a lot of people have heard talking about city villains. That was their reason and why. The Mastermind archetype essentially had you essentially control minions. They would share a buff or debuff power set from the defenders, corruptors, that sort of thing, but the primary was essentially a minion set, which for this character is yeah, I'm trying to force myself into not talking while doing the while it's doing the loading, because there's still a few occasions when I'm doing that and then the sound's cutting off actually. So yeah. Yeah. So yes, I was going to say that essentially that this character's power set combination is demon summoning and dark miasma. When it was announced that demons were coming out from Mastermind set, I knew exactly that I was going to make this character. This character actually originally was made in Champions Online. I had made Bishop in Champions when that had come out, and obviously they've got the Nemesis system, and I never really had any concept or thought of potential arch nemesis for the Prince Bishop, so I had to come up with a one, and ended up coming up with this Mythicz character. Mythicz actually is a name that's based off one of the sort of like name tags that my cousin uses or used to use on Xbox for a lot of his sort of semi-pro gaming on a lot of the like Ghost Recon and Advanced Warfare multiplayer that he used to do, as well as like Call of Duty first-person shooters. He's a bit more into that sort of gaming mark, although he's heavily into FIFA at the moment anyway, but I'm digressing. Because that's where I got the name from, and I knew immediately I was going to make this character in City of, when essentially we had demons announced essentially. So yeah, depending on the powers, you know, the power structure with the Mastermind, you could literally just I know this was the case with robots and I think with robots and force field, you could literally just stand there and do nothing, and your pets would do all the work for you, and never really, you know, flinch in battle, because the bubbles would essentially keep them at a point where the defense was just ridiculous. So yeah, I always did like that Ghost Widow power for locking them up. Yeah, it was always pretty cool. But yeah, I'm a little bit more. I was always a little bit more active with Mythics. You just had to be if you were going to go Dark Miasma, but very, very strong Mastermind set it was. Because Dark Miasma was heavily debuff. It was very endurance heavy in certain situations, but otherwise you could you know, to do some real damage to people. You know, really put some massive debuff on the enemies and whatnot. So the heal was very hit and miss though, because I had a tendency to miss. But yeah, essentially what you would do is your pets would do the bulk of the damage. You would either just essentially buff them up, keep them alive, or be a nuisance to the enemies of essentially let them do the legwork. You know, you get situations, one of my little minions is just like essentially being knocked down there, but that's the idea. They sacrifice themselves just so that you know, they're doing all the work while you're staying alive essentially. And that was their whole deal. So you can always resummon more, that was always the thing. So yeah, I do have 3 Masterminds, this is one of them, and I've got 2 others. But this was probably I would call my main one, simply because it was probably the most effective I was nicknamed Mythicz, essentially the giant purple cloud of death, because the purple field, the purple cloud and mist that affects the sea, he would essentially descend upon an enemy group and then pass by just as quickly, and there'd just be a pile of bodies essentially. So I again though was looking to IO this character out. I was going to try and make it one of my really strong characters. I had made a start incarnate, and I do have one of the sort of like early tier. I do have tier 4 alpha for the damage and effects, which was a really good one for Masterminds actually to take. So I do have that at tier 4, but I only think that's the tier 2 fireball essentially. So there's only so much that it essentially incarnate-wise was actually done. So we put the sleep here. But I was actually going to go for the Clarion. I was hoping to go for that, just that essentially I wasn't going to get put to sleep. Pretty much like Venu's, the corrupted version of Venu that we saw earlier. She had the same situation where essentially had the Clarion, then Mes protection was actually there for the character. But obviously, didn't really get the chance. Only got so far, and then this is actually probably what I was working on at the time before essentially the word had obviously got out that the game was shut down really. So which is a shame. I mean, Mastermind is going to be hard to replicate in any game. I don't think there's anyone that does pets in the same way. Certainly anything that's superhero based. I'm sure other games do have a heavy pet system, but if it's of the fantasy mentality, well, I'm just not into that world whatsoever. So I just don't bother. So, but yeah, Demons was pretty good. It was a good mixture of melee and range, quite debuff in itself as well. So yeah, not much else all to say really. Yeah, I think I might just actually leave it there. Really. I don't think there's actually any more I can say about that. I mean, there's other Masterminds I'll be showing you that different power sets, but probably much was. Oh, actually no, sorry. Tell you what, I'm really talking about the backstory more. So yeah, he's as I say, I made him essentially as a nemesis to Prince Bishop based on the fact that I made him in Champions to do the same. The backstory though actually is that he's actually Bishop's brother. The Bishop didn't know about, which doesn't look like it essentially. But the idea, of course, is that Mythicz here is obviously a major sorcerer and heavily corrupted. So his luck is as a result of just heavy corruption in his dark arts essentially. Although there is a costume piece I'll show you in a moment if I make sure I've still got time left that has him with a similar costume to Bishop, albeit in a mythic style. So I'm just going to respawn a lost minion here and get him buffed up. I'll just knock the effects off for the moment, just so yeah, it's essentially a mock Bishop costume, but with a mythic spin on it, which is done obviously just mock his brother, as it were. But never really got into a situation where I RP'd the character, and that was actually brought to light really. So there was only essentially a few of my friends that obviously know that is actually the big secret of the character, because like I say, it was never really shown off in any sort of roleplay scenario, unfortunately. So one other costume that I'll show because I always thought it was pretty sweet. Just waiting for the clear up here. That's pretty much the end of the net. I'll just knock the ore off again just so you can see it. I'm pretty sure we're on the record. Yeah, this is the very much an dark mage sort of outfit. I actually thought it was pretty sweet. Didn't actually show it off as much actually. I think the idea behind it was to be used to kind of mask the character in sort of interactions with people without essentially showing the true form, as it were. That was the idea behind it. But obviously you can only be able to maintain it in situations where he's not in combat, and then essentially if he was forced into combat, then his true form will be seen, which is obviously the sort of demon going on. So yeah, that was probably one thing to talk about, was just the lore. So yeah, definitely my favourite Mastermind out of the three. So again, the one that wish I had managed to get the IO build done and also the enhanced done, but I didn't get that chance. And yeah, it's going to be very hard to recreate the character again as well. So yeah, I'll be showing off my other two Masterminds at some point. But yeah, there we go. Probably going to get this mission done. Yeah, I used to purposely actually up the numbers for a Mastermind, because obviously with the minions you can probably get away with taking on a few extra numbers, because the means to back you up. So there's the main boss. Hopefully my minions will save me. Do most of the damage here. I'm thankful that I actually had that the healing the healing power on recharge, although it is determined on actually hitting, because it wasn't an auto hit. So one of my minions is gone. I'll lock down that smasher, I think. Okay, managed to lower the numbers, so it wasn't too bad then. I'll go back to the video. One last look at the main costume. Yeah, this power set came out with Going Rogue coming out. Although again, I believe we got it early before. Going Rogue actually came out. We pre-ordered it, so the dual pistol ones came out first, but we didn't get the demon summon until I believe it was actually issue 17 when they introduced Ultimate Mode. So yeah, that was another night where there was a lot of demon Masterminds running around on the sort of the early games and whatnot. So yes, a lot was mowed down very quickly. So right, okay, I've got 2 minutes I think before the end. Let's see if I can actually get this done. Flambe has actually been taken down. She was a bit of a joke character, to be quite honest. So I might get away without having to resummon the lost minion as well, I think. I virtually wiped most of them out with the incarnate power, so yeah, that certainly worked. We have a runner, so I'm going to send that away. You had a lot of pet commands at your disposal that would follow suit, although pet AI was a bit of a constant pain on the developer's part, because it usually break and whatnot, so yeah, it was usually a pain, but there we go. I think this is pretty much done then, so I'm running out of time now. So there we go, that was Mythicz, my main Mastermind. Stay tuned, more to come, and I'll catch you in the next video.